Good evening. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with former President Bill Clinton and discuss his time as the leader of our country. You won't want to miss this. Good evening. I'm here with former President Bill Clinton to talk about his time as the leader of our country. Hi, Mr. Clinton. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine, Miss Green. Or can I call you Deborah?
You can call me whatever you want. It's so great to sit down next to you. I just want to know, how would you describe yourself in 3 adjectives?
3 adjectives. It's quite a bit, but I would have to say I'm an extremely ambitious person. I'm charismatic and personable, and I'm also very outgoing.
I think that the American people would definitely agree with that. So, as former leader of this country, what would you say were your main priorities as a leader?
Well, I was adamant about fueling the economy, like fueling the fire, creating more jobs. I wanted to focus on education, getting people off the streets and improving welfare programs. I had a plan, and it was to cut the middle class taxes, open foreign markets, and create better trade opportunities. I also wanted to preserve the peace, internationally that is.
That's wonderful. I really think that you had your priorities in order because you really accomplished a lot during your presidency. Well, it seems like you really had your priorities straight. Back before you were president in '92, nearly 10 million Americans were unemployed, poverty and welfare rates were growing substantially, and the country was facing record deficits. Jobs were being created at the slowest rate since the Great Depression, and wages were stagnant. The national debt had quadrupled from '89 to '92. It seems it was apparent that the U.S. needed some fresh leadership. What would you say were your most important contributions in helping America get back on their feet?
Well, during my presidency, unemployment dropped to its lowest in more than 30 years, down from 6.9% in 1993 to 4% in 2000. There are now 7 million fewer Americans living in poverty. Because of my deficit reduction legislation, our country has seen continual fiscal improvement. Since my presidency, 22 million new jobs have been created, and America is in the midst of its longest period of economic expansion. Thank you.
Wow, Mr. Clinton, those are some impressive statistics. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back to talk to Mr. Clinton about a few other leadership and positions.
Papa John's new artisan pizza. Salami.
Oh, and we're back. Okay. Okay, so specifically, Mr. Clinton, how would you explain your political platform as former president?
Well, my campaign rejected both hands-off government as well as big government, who takes the approach of taxing and spending our way to prosperity. I call my approach to government the New Covenant, which was an agreement between the government and the people. This approach to the government re-emphasized the solid middle-class virtues of hard work, individual responsibility, family, community, and faith.
And you seem to carry out your political philosophy quite well throughout your presidency. Who would you say supported you most throughout your campaign?
I would say the majority of my supporters were Democrats, but I had many Republican supporters. I had much support from many people all across the country, and I was very grateful. Americans were ready for a change, and I was ready to give that to them.
Absolutely. Many consider your greatest strength as president to be your public speaking skills and much charisma that you embodied. What do you think, personally, your greatest strength is as a leader?
Why, yes, I would agree with that. I would probably say my greatest strength is my ability to build meaningful relationships with those around me. I have the ability to connect with others very quickly and effectively.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Gregory Craig, White House Special Counsel during your presidency stated, "I think that this president will be seen as one of the most highly qualified, most talented, most skilled political leaders that this country has ever seen. In that measuring stick, he is up there, in my view, with the Ronald Reagan capacity to communicate with the nation, with the John Kennedy capacity to inspire a generation. Pretty powerful quote there. These are definitely notable leadership behaviors you were known for as president.
Yes, it's a very flattering comparison. Having the ability to effectively communicate with those around you is an important skill to have. I have always tried to strive to be a leader who can connect with my fellow citizens.
Absolutely. We will be right back with Mr. Clinton after this brief break.
Thank you, Deborah.
Oh, Bill, we're back on air. Hello, everyone. So let's get back to business.
Yes.
And so Bill, Mr. Clinton, what would you say was your biggest weakness as a leader of this country?
My biggest weakness as a leader of this country. I should have set a better example for my fellow citizens. I misled the people, and I deeply regret that. I just wanted to go on record to say one thing, because I don't think you heard me the first time, America. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. But I took full responsibility for my actions, and I apologized immensely. I learned a lot from that situation. Thank you.
Mr. Clinton, it must have been extremely difficult having your private life displayed in the spotlight all over America. And even though all of America did know about this scandal, you exited the Oval Office with an approval rating of 65%. That is quite impressive.
Thank you. Yes, I'm exceedingly thankful to the American people forgave me.
Okay, Mr. Clinton, last question. What would you consider your greatest leadership contribution over your presidency?
That's a difficult question. Well, one of the most important contributions was helping to create jobs. Unemployment was the lowest it's been in 30 years during my presidency. America saw much economic growth during my presidency. As a leader, I also believe I had the ability to bring people together. I felt like I developed a very strong relationship with the American people, of course. These, I would say, are my greatest contributions as President of the United States of America.
Absolutely. That is a great answer. And I think that the American people would totally agree with that. Your ability to connect with others and your charismatic attitude was just a wonderful asset to having during this really difficult time in America. After you became president, we experienced such tremendous economic growth. Jobs were booming. Everything was becoming so much better. And I just really, really commend your leadership skills.
It's a pleasure, Deborah.
No, the pleasure was all mine, Bill. Well, thank you, Bill. Good night, America.
Good night, America.